This 7-minute video is going to take a look at how to prepare your references list following proper APA 7th edition guidelines. The references page is a list of all the references you used in your paper. It is the full information for every textbook, article, website, etc. that you quoted, summarized, or paraphrased from. If you have an in-text citation in your paper, you need to provide a full reference for that citation in your references page. In the APA document, the last page is a model references. Please consult that document for full information. Your references page should look exactly the same. Here are a few rules about the format of a references page. 1. It will always be on its own sheet of paper. 2. It is called references. Put the title centered at the top of the page. 3. List all the sources that you used in alphabetical order by the author's last name. If you didn't have an author, use the title of the document, like you see with the Purdue Online Writing Lab, in place of the author. 4. If your references fall onto another line, like you see in the first two examples, indent the second line by 1 tab or 5 spaces. Finally, you'll see the whole page is double-spaced. Now, the information that goes into a references is very specific. You must include the correct information in the right order. If you do not write every reference properly, then it is considered plagiarism. We will look at how to write a reference for a book, website, and database article, for example, an article from EBSCO, in the next few slides. This information is also available in more detail in the APA PDF document. So let's look at how to create a reference for a book. What you need to include in this order is the author's last name, comma, and then the first name initial, period. Then you will put the year in parentheses, period. You put the title of the book, period, and then the publisher of the book, period. So if you look at the bottom, there's an example. We have the author's last name, comma, the first name initial, Highmore, comma, B. We have the year of publication in parentheses, 2001, period. We have the title of the book, Everyday Life and Cultural Theory in Canada, a Sociological Study, period. Please note that with the title of a book in APA, only the first letter of the title is capitalized. All the other letters are in lowercase unless it's a proper noun like Canada, or if a word comes after a colon like a sociological study. Finally, you're going to put the publisher of the book with a period at the end. All of the information for a book is found either on the cover of the book or in the first few pages of the book. Next, let's look at how to do a web page citation. It's very similar to how you do a book. You need the author's last name, comma, the first name initial, period, the year of publication in parentheses, period, the title of the web document, period, and then you need the URL. So for example, if you look, it says Constantino, comma, E, period, the author's name. The date of creation, in this case, for some websites, you might not have a date. If you don't have a date, you put n.d. for no date. If you do have a date, then you put the year. Put the title of the web document, period, and then copy and paste the URL. Sometimes you won't have an author's name. In that case, just start with the web document's title. So Asian Pacific Disasters, period, n.d. period, and then the URL. Finally, we'll look at how to write a reference for an article from a database such as EBSCO. This can be a little bit tricky, but I will show you where to find all of this information in the next slide. What you need to include in a reference for a database article is the author's last name, comma, first name initial, period, the year of publication in parentheses, period, the title of the article, period, the title of the journal, comma, the volume number, and then in parentheses, the issue number, comma, the page range, period, and then a DOI. You'll notice that the title of the article is not in italics and you only capitalize the first letter. You'll also notice that the title of the journal gets put in italics and all the letters of the title are capitalized. So look at the example at the bottom. We have the author's last name, comma, first name's initial, Longhammer, C. The year of publication, 2007. The title of the article, Love and Courtship in Mid-20th Century England, period. The title of the journal, Historical Journal. We have our volume number, we have our issue number, and we have a page range, and then a DOI. So now we will look at where to find all of this information. When you look up an article in a database, at the top of every article, you'll see information that looks like this. This is where you can find all the information to build your reference. It is your job to put it in the right order. So the author of any article will be right up at the top. So in this case, Ron Williams. All the other information that you need is mostly found here under source. So here we have the title of the journal, Canadian Architect. We have the year, 2015. We have our volume number, 60. Our issue number is 9, and the page range, it's only one page, so it's 39 to 39. Finally, the DOI will usually be found down here at the bottom. In this case, we see that there is no DOI. If there is no DOI, don't worry about it, then you just won't include anything. So the reference for an article like this would be Williams, R, 2015, Landscape Architecture in Canada, Canadian Architect, 69, 39 to 39. If you do see a DOI written at the bottom, then you're going to write your reference like this, with the DOI started with https://doi.org, and then you'll copy and paste the DOI number that you see in the reference. And then, like I said, if there is no DOI, just end on the page range like you see in that second example. Preparing a references list can be tricky. If you need more information or if you want someone to check your references list, you can just mail myself, Kim Muncy. You can also watch the other APA videos if you need information on things like plagiarism, in-text citations, quoting, or paraphrasing.